Story 1. I personally enjoy any contact that is genuine and not done out of a sense of obligation or just because I asked. Basically, I want to volunteer, not a hostage. Message me for free hugs and limitless laughs if you are in the Atlanta area. Story 2. I would be willing to bet that the overwhelming majority of single men in this thread are so touch-starved that any type of physical touch is better than no touch at all. Story 3. I was at a haunted house once, and a girl I didn't even know grabbed onto my right arm and wouldn't let go the entire way through. I almost asked her to marry me afterward. Story 4. Having a woman lie on me on the couch while wearing clothes. Something about the weight, pressure, and her soft body. Story 5. Honestly, hugs are really legitimate. They don't even have to be sexual at all. For whatever reason, at my job, I get hugs all the time. I absolutely love them. From girls and boys. Friends love hugs. Story 6. When she asks me something, she rests her chin on my shoulder while waiting for an answer. There is something about knowing she has a genuine interest in whatever I say next that is truly special. Story 7. I genuinely do not know if this is weird or not, but I like it when my hair is messed with. It has always given me chills in the most pleasant way. Cannot explain why. Before we dive into the next story, a big thank you for lending me your ears. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's just a click away. Story 8. My girlfriend does this thing where she lightly caresses my hand with her other hand while we are holding hands. And it's nice. Story 9. For me, personally, the best physical touch is when my wife can recognize that I am overstimulated or in a high emotional state, and she just puts her hand on my thigh or arm. It grounds me while also letting me know she sees me. It is not her responsibility in any way, and it is the best physical touch she can give me. Other than that, a little tap on the back as I walk by is not bad. Story 10. As a grown man with military experience, I would probably cry if someone cared enough to touch my hand in kindness. Story 11. When a woman does that thing where you are on your back, she is on her side with her head on your shoulder, her hand on your chest, and her leg laying over yours. If she never moves from that position, I would legitimately lay there until I die. Story 12. Being a small spoon is quite possibly the most calming thing in the world. It feels like she is taking all of the stress out of my body. Story 13. Married for 32 years. I would be thrilled if my wife just put her hand anywhere on me at night. It would be nice. I imagine it would be nice. Story 14. When I was a teenager, the coolest feeling I ever had was when a girlfriend slid her hands around my midsection, from the front to the back on the way to a hug. I felt somehow really manly at that point. I had no abdominal muscles, but there was no self-consciousness about it. It felt like she was into me, and I was most definitely into her. Before we dive into the next story, a big thank you for lending me your ears. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's just a click away. Story 15. I was watching a movie with a guy I had just started dating and was absent-mindedly stroking and rubbing his hand. He loved it so much that every time we sat down together, he would say, "Play with my hand again." Story 16. Any and all touches from a woman you care about are good, but meaningful hugs are special, and I always enjoy a caress on my neck or inner thigh. Story 17. A squeeze on the forearm or shoulder are non-sexual touches women have used on me that made it so I couldn't get them out of my head. Fingernails on my back or scalp give me tingles, too. Story 18. Hand on my knee, hand on my shoulder, hand on my chest, hand on the nape of my neck, arms around me from behind, playing with my earlobes, leaning against my shoulder, playing with my beard, and intimate gestures. Story 19. Touch. Human beings all like touch. You can explore a man's body just as you do a woman's. The only thing that often dissuades this is a somewhat toxic view of sexual dominance or power roles in sex. Break that mold. Touch your partners. Explore their bodies with your hands and tongue. Pleasure is a nerve thing, not a gender thing. Story 20. One I've been craving is when we cuddle, where I lie on my back and she lies belly down on my chest like a teddy bear, and I hold her while we watch a daily dose of the internet or something. Story 21. My wife is not an especially touchy-feely person, so whenever she even just rests her hand on my arm or shoulder, It gives me the biggest smile because I know that it is really intentional. I feel that is what really appeals to me, intent or at least my perception of it. Plus, she thinks it is hilarious to stick her index finger towards my rear if I am bending over while working around the house. Needless to say, I do a lot of bending over while working around the house. Before we dive into the next story, a big thank you for lending me your ears. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's just a click away. Story 22. If you are talking about a guy you are not already intimate with but want to be, put your hand on his arm when you are talking to him. Story 23. I was standing in this girl's way without realizing it when, out of nowhere, she placed her hands around my waist and neatly pulled me over to the side to make way for herself. The softness and delicateness of it had me mesmerized for days. Story 24. Someone's sleeping on you, no matter where exactly. It's like the comfort and safety of that person is multiplied and sent to you. Story 25. I have 2 bullet wounds, and my favorite thing is when my wife puts her hand over them, as if to say they are safe. Story 26. Head scratches are very soothing. My girlfriend and I take turns. It is particularly nice if you can lay your head on their chest and listen to their heartbeat. Story 27. If it is from a partner, something casual but warm. Sit close to us and put your hand on ours, especially if we are in public, or put your head on our lap when we are watching television. In bed, surprise us with a back rub now and then, or cuddle up to us. We appreciate it, and many of us actually enjoy being the little spoon once in a while. What the heck? Bring us a coffee and snack now and then, and not just when you want to get something out of us. No, we will not think you are our servant. We will appreciate the non-transactional consideration. The important thing is to keep it casual, and do not act like it is some big favor. Do not ask us if we enjoyed it, and do not bring it up later. Just do it as if it is perfectly natural because you want to do it, and if it is just a normal aspect of being involved with us. Do not break the spell by acting as if it was some special gesture or some extra effort to perform a wonderful act of tenderness that you simply decided to share with us. Story 28. I enjoy having my hands played with or massaged. Sometimes my hands get sore and stiff after a rough week. Even just relaxing on the sofa, cuddled up watching television, squeezing or rubbing my palms, knuckles, and fingers brings me pure bliss. Before we dive into the next story, a big thank you for lending me your ears. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's just a click away. Story 29. Not to be inappropriate, but when a woman lets her breast touch your arm, it sends a very clear and exciting message. Story 30. I was the big spoon the other night, and I could barely wrap my arms around him, but my husband acted like it was the best thing ever. Story 31. The last great non-sexual touch I had was with my crush. Our knees touched under the counter while we were taking exams next to each other. We had both been anxious about that exam, so it was comforting for me to feel less alone while we got through it. I hope it helped her too. Story 32. I'm not of the norm here, but something caring. Something that says, it's okay. Take a break, brother. I'm sorry. I am so very tired. Story 33. I'm not going to lie. I miss being hugged from behind by a smaller frame. I like when someone puts their hands on your shoulders. But my favorite is when someone leans their head into your chest and you can embrace their forehead with a cheek. Story 34. I just want to see someone who wants to touch me, rather than the feeling they should out of obligation or something. I don't know, sincerity is probably my thing. Story 35. Physical touch is my big love language, so I may be an outlier, but I am a fan of all positive physical touch. I love cuddling, hugging, a casual arm thrown over my shoulder, and holding hands. I enjoy sitting next to someone on a couch and just leaning into it a little. I like having my children on my lap or holding them in my arms. There are few feelings that compare with having a baby fall asleep on your chest. I genuinely think there is not enough appreciation for or acceptance of low-level platonic contact between people, and that is a shame. Intimacy is great, do not get me wrong, but I believe people try to use intimacy to fill the void of normal touch that is missing in their lives. Before we dive into the next story, a big thank you for lending me your ears. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's just a click away. Story 36. Reaching out to hold my hand, her hand on my thigh, kissing, playing with my hair, lying in bed with her head on my shoulder. Story 37. My back is being scratched randomly. I will develop a crush on you for doing that just once. Do it a second time and… Story 38. Honestly, I don't know about others, but I have this habit that whenever my dad enters the door of the house, I leave everything I am doing. It doesn't matter what it is. I run to him and hug him. He always hugs me back with a smile. I don't know how tired or exhausted he is. It first started when I was a toddler, but now it's a ritual kind of thing. Story 39. A woman one day told me that I had an interesting attractiveness. I remember it was February 22nd, 1993. Story 40. Any touch. Growing up, I was incredibly touch-starved. Now, I have a girlfriend, and I cherish every moment I have with her. The feeling of no longer being touch-starved beats a lot of sensations. I am almost 100% positive. We are getting engaged this year, sometime in the middle of winter. Story 41. Any kind of affectionate touch, honestly. My ex used to do this thing in social situations where she would just put her hand around my waist and squeeze every once in a while. I am glad I ended the relationship, but that is what I remember fondly. Story 42. I cut myself while trying to scratch my back with my pocket knife the other day. So back scratches have to be up there. Before we dive into the next story, a big thank you for lending me your ears. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's just a click away. Story 43. Something intimate about feeling a woman's heartbeat. Whether through a hug or by putting my hand on her chest, it's the most primal thing to remind myself that despite our biological differences, there is an organ constantly working in both of us. Story 44. I do not know if I even look in my husband's direction. He is ready to go. It does not matter if I touch his pinky toe. Story 45. Being leaned on. Be it on your shoulder while sitting down, you are standing and she leans on your chest because she is sad, or leaning on your back because she is tired. It makes me feel like I am reliable. Story 46. A girl touched my spine at work and said my name a few weeks ago, and I was surprised. Turns out she is gay. Story 47. A bear hug after a long, hard day signifies, welcome back. You did well. Or any genuine touch in general. Story 48. I woke up laying on my back from anesthesia to two nurses, one of whom was holding my arm, likely taking my pulse, and the other complimenting my eyes. Safe to say I came around pretty quickly. It hasn't gotten much better than that. Story 49. I cannot remember the last time I received a genuine hug from someone who was not family or a close friend. Not even my ex genuinely hugged me. By hug, I mean a real hug, not a quick hug or one that starts as a hug and turns into a more intimate style of physical expression. I mean being held and truly hugged. Before we dive into the next story, a big thank you for lending me your ears. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's just a click away. Story 50. Personally, women seem to lack imagination when it comes to touching intimately. My wife pretty much introduced stroking me in a similar way I would stroke her. It includes stroking or tickling my forearms, neck, back, butt, and thighs when we are in bed or relaxing. And that's not even when it gets sexy. It's just some loving contact. In previous relationships, this kind of contact was only initiated for sex, reassurance, or wanting something. As for actual intimate time, it seems like they think only his male anatomy has any sensitivity. There is no touch on anything else. It's only focus on the male anatomy, and then he touches me everywhere. Foreplay can go both ways, ladies. All of the skin is sensitive. Take a chance and stroke things to see what he likes. Story 51. Exploring one another's hands when hand-holding. There are many good examples of physical touch. Hand-holding is something I have always enjoyed for its intimate yet simple affection. Most physical touch generally begins with our hands, whether it is to hug, to place your arm around her waist, or to feel the warmth of her body. Hand-holding is fun. It is the first step, the initiation, That simple physical connection that can easily escalate from there. I love playing with a woman's hand while holding it, feeling each finger, discovering the softness of her skin, and how delicate her hand feels in mine, tapping fingers together and exploring how every little detail feels, almost like a sort of dance, before clasping again and holding her hand in different ways, such as my fingers through hers or her hand clasped on the inside of mine. It begins with our hands. Hand holding can be such a deeply intimate moment between two people. Story 52. In 10th grade, I was the new kid at school. The girl sitting next to me turned and told me I had really nice lips. That was 21 years ago, and I still think about how nice that made me feel, especially at 16 years old. But physically, I enjoy back scratches, head scratching, and being held. It makes me feel wanted and not just needed. It's a great feeling and helps quiet the constant self-doubt in my mind. Story 53. I love when my girl is naked in my bed. Obviously, there are intimate aspects that I like, but I also enjoy holding her against me. If we love each other, there is no better feeling than simply holding you in a comfortable bed or on a couch. Story 54. If you scratch the back of my head or neck, I'm yours immediately, after I wake up, because that knocks me out. Story 55. I love having my back gently scratched, but any touch that is offered genuinely and unsolicited with the sole intent of making me feel better is welcome. Story 56. Seriously, anything. I haven't received a hug since I visited my family at Christmas. Most of us are so touch-starved, longing for love and affection. It's insane. Before we dive into the next story, a big thank you for lending me your ears. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's just a click away. Story 57. I had a date hold my knee during a scary movie. Stars and bars. Seriously, it does not take much. We are all touch-starved 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in most cases. Story 58. Sexually. I had an ex who would lightly run her fingers all over my body afterwards. It was such a calming yet tantalizing sensation that put me right to sleep. I think it is similar to what pets feel when we pet them to sleep. Non-sexually, aggressive hugging and grappling. I am a taller, bigger guy, and I love when a woman tries to tackle me or something like that. It is hard to explain, but that is the best I can do. And the fingers through the hair. Story 59. When I am sitting on the couch with my wife and she rubs the back of my neck. We are sitting next to each other on the couch, and she will kind of hike her leg up over my leg. When she reaches for my hand while I am driving, especially that moment. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.